Hello, everyone, and welcome to Super Awesome You. Due to the holidays fast approaching and some travel, and basically this time of year just becoming really, really busy, I'm going to do a little mini episode today. And as I prep the season finale for the first season of Super Awesome You, it has been so much fun recording this, and I can't wait to go into season two with bigger plans and hopefully more content. And always, striving to be useful and be helpful. And if there's anything that you'd love for me to cover, or any ideas you have, or really any stories that you want to share that I might find interesting, please reach out at Super Awesome You on Instagram, or you can email me, Samer, Samer, at superawesomemix.com. This little mini episode is something that came to my mind that I used to say all the time when I was a spin instructor. So I spent 3 years being a spin instructor. It was so much fun, something that I never thought I could do. And I kind of did it on a whim, to be honest, and then just fell in love with it so much. I think about it often. One of the things that I would tell people all the time, and I think it even came from another instructor there, and I hear it also in meditation apps, the same kind of idea, is that what you do in the workout room and what you did on the bike, for example, if you were in one of my classes, I would always say to people, your mind in here is the same mind out there. So when you push yourself on the bike and you go faster than you thought possible, or you go heavier on the climb than you thought possible, or you push that tiny little extra second that you never thought you could do, it's incredible. It's worth celebrating. It's an amazing moment. And I think that oftentimes, though, we leave the bike room and we leave that challenge, and we forget that that brain that powered you and those muscles and everything that you did in that moment, that's the same you that is faced with outside challenges, outside the spin room. So, when you're faced with a project that's difficult, when you're faced with working with someone that might be difficult, when you're faced with a goal that feels out of reach, whatever the case may be, whatever challenges come your way, I would always remind my class it's really helpful to remember that when you were faced with a different challenge, you persevered and you pushed a little bit harder and you worked a little bit more than you thought you could. And so if you could do it in here, you can absolutely do it out there. That was a good reminder for me this week, because there are a lot of things that I sign myself up for all the time. Arguably, I need to take my own advice from a couple episodes back and say no to things, but I do sign myself up for a lot. And there are many moments when I'm, in the middle of it, just wondering, like, why did I do this? And what the heck? Like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I sign up for this stuff? Is it really worth it? And I have to remind myself that, one, I signed up for a reason. And so I believed, I had faith in the reason why I said yes. And so I trust that that was the right call. Two, I remind myself that, I've done difficult things before, and I've done difficult things that I didn't think were possible in that moment. Whether it was something like a physical strenuous exercise, or, a case competition I signed up for in business school, or launching this podcast that I, spent years thinking about doing, and here I am doing it. These at some point in my life all felt like something I couldn't do, and here I am doing it. And so I think back to those little moments and I realize that, our mind, again, is the exact same mind no matter the context, no matter the scenario. So if I could do it then, I can absolutely do it here, and I don't need to be afraid, because at the end of the day, everything is just a skill set. Everything is just neurons firing in our brain. They're just electrical impulses connecting the dots to help us, do something. And so, regardless of context, I found a way to overcome that inertia, to overcome that fear, and, made progress in something that mattered to me. I find that very inspiring. And so I hope that it's helpful for you too. Whenever you are faced with something that you think, like, I don't know if I can do this, think about something else that you've done where you had that exact same thought, even if it has nothing to do with what you're doing right now. The point is that you once were faced with a challenge where you had a mental block, and you overcame that mental block and succeeded, even if by 0.5% better than you were before, or even if it was the world's smallest step. It is still a step that you didn't think you could take. That is powerful, and that will make you powerful, and that will help you achieve whatever it is that you are seeking next. And then it just gets easier and easier, because the more that you do, and the more that you realize that everything you do is the same you, right? The same super awesome you. the more that you will be less afraid and you'll have less inertia and you can just start to like tackle whatever you want basically. It sounds magical. It probably takes a little while. It certainly does for me, but it like many things it's a muscle that you can practice and grow stronger at. So until next week, I hope you have a super awesome week and I'll talk to you later.